Welcome to Mama Cat's Home. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how that I cook pinto beans, but I also do black-eyed peas the same way. So I'm going to be sharing in the electric pressure cooker, but you can also do this in the crock pot or on the stove top. You just have to adjust your cooking time. And I will do a recipe down below in the description, a link to that, because I'm going to just type it up and put it on my blog. That way you guys can just print it out if you want to. And I will put how the difference is in if you need it in the pressure cooker or in the pot on the stove or the instant pot or electric pressure. Did I say pressure cooker twice? I think I did. Pressure cooker, crock pot, or stovetop. One thing you need to do in the very beginning is wash your peas, beans, whichever one you want to use. I'm using, like I said, pinto beans, dry pinto beans, and because I'm using the electric pressure cooker, I'm not going to be soaking them. If you're going to be doing them on the stove top, you want to soak them overnight, at least 4 to 6 hours if you don't have overnight. Soak them for that long. And also you could do a quick soak method, which is boiling them for like an hour. I don't like to do that, and now that I have Instant Pot, Kasori, all those types of little gadgets, I don't even like to cook them on the stove top or in the crock pot that much. Crock pot, I don't ever soak them. I just wash them and cook them from the very first thing in the morning and let them go. But I haven't been doing pinto beans for a long time because didn't really know I liked them that much. Still don't like them as much as I like black-eyed peas, but he likes them. Oh, can you see? He likes them, so I started cooking them more, which is still not as often as he probably liked. He's back there cutting up an onion. As big of the onion as we have, he's just gonna give me half of it. I have 3 cups of beans. That's what I'm using. I have 4 cups of chicken broth or stock, whichever one you want to use. You can use just plain water. I'm going to use that and water. I have in this, it's a Mrs. Dash original seasoning. That's what I use because it's just a bunch of herbs and spices. There's no salt in this, but I will be adding salt. And then, like I said, I'll be adding salt. I have pink Himalayan sea salt. Oh, there goes that. And I have black pepper here. This is already ground. Jeff put it in this little thing, and I've been using it more. So, that's a thing now. In this bag, I have a little bit of onion in here, some bell pepper, and some celery. Now, we've never put celery in it like this before, but there's actually dried celery in this, so I know we'll like the taste. The reason why we're using this is because if you see it, you can see it's been in the freezer for a month or two, and I want to use it up. So I'm going to set up my camera down here and show you the inside of the pot, and I'll probably go over all of the things as I go, but I'm going to tell you the measurements as I go. Okay, in my pot I have, like I said, 3 cups of pinto beans. Now some of these beans are a little older than others, so they're darker. The beans do get darker as they dry more, but that doesn't matter. It's still going to cook up and be just as tasty. It doesn't hurt them to be drier, but you may have to adjust your cook time for a little bit longer, and you may have to put a little bit more liquid when they're drier. But they should be fine in here like they are. The only thing I did not tell you that I was going to need is some bacon. Now, if I were cooking this with fresh raw bacon, I would cook the bacon before I put the beans in there and let the fat and all that stuff be in the pot. But since I am using this shortcut, I'm just going to use this. I would probably put, if I was doing it the other way, 3 to 4 pieces of bacon. So I'm going to put a good handful in there because that's just what I normally do. I just grab it out with my hand and put it in there. So I'm going to do that first. And that will have salt in it, so you got to think about that whenever you start adding your salt as well. Make sure you don't put that in there. So that's a good handful of my hand. So, you know, you got to think about it. If you're like my son and have a big old hand, you don't want to put that much. But then again, you might, because you might want a lot of bacon. And then I'm going to put this onion in there that he cut up. It's about a half of a medium onion. Now, we do love onion, so there is a difference. I mean, you may not like onion very much, but we like it because it's got a lot of flavor. And then I'm going to put this bell pepper and onion in there. It's probably about a half a stalk of celery, another third of a small onion, maybe, if that much. Probably not even that much, maybe a quarter. And then probably close to a half of a bell pepper. You can use the little sweet peppers that you get that are different colors. You could use that as well. Don't know why the dogs are barking. So I'm going to wash my hand to get the greasy, bacony stuff off, because now I'm going to be touching my seasoning. I'm going to wash my hands. Wash those. I'm going to wash my hands, and then I'm going to show you the seasonings. Okay, of this Mrs. Dash or any kind of mixed herb seasoning that does not have salt, I'm going to use a tablespoon of that and put that in. And that right there is what makes it taste so good. I mean, honestly, that's, if you had that and the bacon, you probably, I mean, you might miss some salt, but not much, because those herbs give it a really good flavor. And then, because the bacon has the salt in it, I'm only going to, and I know beans need a lot of salt, but I'm only going to put a half a tablespoon in there, because you can always add salt whenever you start to eat if you don't think it's enough. I just don't like to put too much, and it tastes just fine without it. Some people actually say not to put salt in your beans while you're cooking it. I don't know why, but they do. And the Mrs. Dash stuff had pepper in it as well, so I'm just going to put like a half a tablespoon of that in there as well. That was loud. Jeff will add more pepper, I'm sure, because he always does, because he adds pepper to everything. So, like I said, 4 cups of chicken broth. If you don't want to use broth, you can use some other liquid like water. I don't know what else you would use. Use water or broth. I guess stock. But this 4 cups will just cover that 3 cups. And then what I want to do is, for this, I don't want to go over the max fill part. I don't know if you guys can see that. But the max amount is 12 cups. So I don't want to go over that. So I'm going to put it up to about 10. I don't know exactly how many cups that's going to be. So I'm going to measure it. Yes, this is dry measure, but it'll work just fine. And the only reason I'm measuring it is so I can tell you guys accurately what I've got going on. So that's 1 cup. 2. 3. I think I'll just do 4 cups. That'll be 8 cups liquid total. And then I'm going to give it a stir. Yeah, I think that'll be good. And then, because I'm using this, I'm just going to put it on the bean setting. Because I've never cooked it on anything else but the bean setting on this. But I'm going to lock it into place. This one has the little thing where it has a lock and unlock where you steam it, vent, you know. But this is locked, so it's down. And then I'm just going to push the, where's it at? Beans chili, which is about 11 minutes, and then I'm going to start it. And once that this is done, then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, I had it set for beans and chili, and it did that time. After it got to pressure, it cooked for that amount of time. According to whatever kind of device you use, it's going to be different. I think this one was 11 minutes after it came up to temperature. And then I let it do the slow release for about 20 minutes. You don't have to do that. You could do a quick release, but my chicken's not done, and it's not time to eat dinner, so I wasn't worried about it. But now I want to go ahead and check this. So I've already finished letting it release, which took barely any time. because if I hadn't, you wouldn't have heard that and I couldn't have opened it. And now I'm going to open it up. I have it on keep warm, and I have not opened it until just now, the whole time, of course, because that would be something you can't do. But I'm going to stir these around a little and check them to see if they are done, and they're not. Okay, so whenever I started this, I was thinking about black-eyed peas and how long you cook them in like electric pressure cooker. You can just do those on beans and chili, let them slow release, and it's all good. These, not so much, because they're larger than black-eyed peas. You need to cook them longer, so you can either set it on like manual and do it for 30-40 minutes, or you can do like I did and do it twice. So let's see if they're done this time, because last time they weren't. So I did slow release, but now we're going to see if they're done. And like I said, some of them are older than the others, so some are drier than the others. But let's see if, well, where did the bean go? That was just the outside of the bean. These are still not done. Okay, so this is going to be the third time I've tried this. I was not thinking about the fact that this is pinto beans, not black-eyed peas. So pinto beans take a lot longer, so I did not set it for the right amount of time. I ended up just putting it on manual for another 20 minutes on high pressure. And the first 2 times I did it on beans and chili, which is the normal function of the pot. So I'm going to take the top off and we're going to see if they're done. If they're not done, I'm going to scream, yell, and cry, and then we'll just, you know, cook them some more. So let's see what they look like. Okay, so that's probably going to fog right back up every few seconds. Okay, I think it's better now. But now I can't see it. Okay, let's see. Alright, it may fog up again, I don't know. But we're hoping that these are going to be done. This is what they look like. Yep, they're done this time. Okay, you're going to get to see me in my little thing. I just took a shower because this was taking so long. And I said, well, if it's going to take forever to cook the beans, we're just going to go ahead and shower and have that done. So anyway, I made mistakes. But I'm not going to take that out of the video because if I did that, it would not be real. So this way, you can learn from my mistakes. Don't be thinking I'm cooking black-eyed peas or whatever and I can put it on the same setting. Think about what you're doing. It's dried beans that are about almost 3 times the size of a black-eyed pea. So I should have thought before I started filming and before I started cooking that I was going to need about triple the amount of time. So think about that whenever you start cooking any of these things. Also, for some reason, they're falling apart more than normal, but we really don't care. They'll taste just as good. I do have a video where that I made refried beans forever ago, and I did make pinto beans in the crock pot. It was a completely different recipe because I was using the seasonings for refried beans. But this is the way I do my pinto beans, my black-eyed peas with these seasonings, and they taste wonderful. And the one I just tasted, that one bean, it does not need any more salt or anything. You think about it, there's salt in the bacon, there's salt in the stock or broth, and I actually added a little bit of salt too. But the herbs are really delicious in there. I know a lot of people, especially people from the South, they don't put herbs and stuff in theirs. I do. I was born and raised in Alabama, but I'm still going to use my herbs because it just tastes better to me. And this turns out to be really good pinto beans. So I will have a link to the recipe down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you like my channel, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified whenever I upload. Leave me a comment down below. Do you just stop whenever you make mistakes in the kitchen and just give up, or you just keep going? I say keep going because otherwise you won't ever eat any good food. Or you'll eat out a lot or something. I don't know. Anyway, Thank you again so much for watching, and remember, don't take any wooden nickels, and be sweet.